Hi, SmartBear Community, and welcome to another episode of the SmartBear Community Leader Interviews. And our today's guest is Andrew Barbet, and he is the Zephyr Scale Community Leader. The Zephyr communities are some of the newest additions to the SmartBear Community family, and we're really happy to see such expertise and experienced users there, not even just users but community leaders. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate Andrew on becoming a community leader. And so today we're going to talk about his background, about his experience with the Zephyr tools, and maybe he will give some advice for the novice testers on how to become more successful with testing and test management in particular. We'll see. So without further ado, let's start. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Hi, Sonia. I'm very well, thank you. And thanks for inviting me to this interview. I'm looking forward to chatting.
That's great. Okay, so my first question would be, of course, could you introduce yourself? Because that's the most exciting part, I think, for the viewers of this interview. Could you speak a bit about your background, about your hobbies, maybe even?
Sure, yes. So, hi, everybody. I'm Andrew or Andy Barbet. I live in Jersey in the Channel Islands. It's a small island just off the coast of France. But it's British, I should say, so we all speak English here and a little bit of French. My background is primarily finance. So I've been working in the finance industry for over 30 years, which is a long time. Um, and but I've had quite varied roles within finance. So I've for a good 10 years of that, I was a business user, not really a user of software, not really working in software industry. But I got invited onto a project in England. So I traveled to England for 6 months, and it was a software testing project for Unisys, one of their banking systems. And yeah, I think it's fair to say that changed my life because I met my wife there for starters. She was testing, sitting opposite me. And I discovered that I had a talent for software change testing. I loved it. I really enjoyed the job. Worked very long hours, but because I had a passion for it, I'd say. And since then, I changed my career. I moved into a software IT path. It took me quite a while to break into that, with having 10 years as a business user and none as an IT user. But over the years, I've worked in various roles within software. So coming from software support as well as testing, a little bit of development, SQL development, a bit of VB development, lots of work on Excel, spreadsheets, of course, managing managing test teams, managing development teams and business analysts and project managers, doing a bit of project managing myself. So quite, pretty much the whole for the whole thing, the whole software development lifecycle. Um, so yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you so much. That's quite interesting because you really like it was just accidental almost that you
Yeah, it
would end
was
up in this field.
definitely, and I think that's probably true. I think for many testers, I think they come from a business background, but they have the skills, they have the um, curiosity to explore and try and find out why, how
Mhm.
something works and why it's working.
That's quite an interesting story. Thank you for sharing it. And also, of course, it was a lucky coincidence, that you met your wife there. Actually,
Yeah,
that's yeah,
yes,
quality
that was
assurance
nice.
can do that. A whole lot of lucky coincidences.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, could you tell us, I think, about how you started working with Zephyr Scale specifically?
Sure. Yes. Well, I'm currently I work for myself as a consultant, a
Mhm.
change consultant, and one of my clients is a large telecoms operator provider in Jersey, and they were looking for a test manager, like an test execution manager. So yeah, I was lucky enough to win that contract. So that was in October last year, and my client had installed. They purchased Zephyr Scale back when it was TM4J, and yeah, I needed to get to grips with it very quickly because they were already in flow with testing. They'd already executed system testing and sit point-to-point testing, and now they were moving into um, the user acceptance testing phases. So it was critical that I got up to speed with it. So yeah, that's how I got to use the product, and I think it wasn't too difficult. There's a lot of information on the support site, which is really helpful. As it was a new product within the business I was working in, there was really no support. So I had to look at the support site for that, read the documentation. That's how I found the community board, which was really helpful. And yeah, it's a great product. I've really enjoyed using it.
Yes. So you started like last year with Zephyr Scale, right?
Yeah, just October. So October to
Mhm.
April. So I've only really been using it 6 months.
Yeah,
But
and I mean, how did you manage to become such an expert? Because I
uh,
have been following you in the community, just looking into what you're replying to people. It looks like
yeah,
you are extremely helpful there. How did you do that?
thanks. Thank you. I guess it's just in my nature. I like to help people, but I think also it's a great way of learning. Yeah, helping others is a great way of learning, and even though I'm not using Zephyr Scale actively in my current role, I'm still active on the community, and it helps me to keep my knowledge up to date.
Hmm.
And also, yeah, I try and help answer questions that um, I don't have much experience with in Zephyr Scale. So integrations with other test tools is not something that we have. But I still try and answer those questions, and along the way, I learn. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's just it. It's just keeping active and trying to help.
This is a great thing. I cannot emphasize this enough. And this always actually comes up with people who are active in the community, that this is how they learn, this is how they expand their knowledge. It's like the best way, because sometimes you have only that many tasks that you do, and but then other people can have a completely different assignments, and then when you look into this, it's something new. It's always maybe a bit overwhelming, with their projects and their stuff, but it really can help you learn quickly. So yeah, that's a great
Mm,
idea. So my advice to everyone would be like, go ahead and try to participate in the community, help others, and then it will surely pay off by expanding your knowledge.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Great. And do you have any experience of working with other Zephyr products? Because we have a couple more of them.
You do, yeah. No, unfortunately not. Not at the minute. But I have had a look at the product catalog, if you like, and I'm hoping to be able to download some of those tools and investigate. As soon as I have some time. So no, I suppose the short answer is no, but I'm hoping to.
Mhm, mhm. And to sum up your kind of an onboarding process, so for you it was mostly the documentation, and then you got to the community part, right?
Yes, but also I think I learn a lot by just trying. So using it is very intuitive, um, and there's a lot of functionality. It looks simple, at first glance, but actually there's a lot underneath the hood, so to speak.
Mhm,
So yeah, I learned a lot just by trying and experimenting, which is
mhm.
probably it's a testing tool, so I'm sure many of his users or that kind of mentality where they experiment and test. So yeah, I'm sure that
Mhm.
they'll have the same experience.
When you first came to the community, so you first started probably asking questions, right? Or did you just start answering right away? So what was the journey?
The journey. I started asking questions, but before that, I searched the community topics to see if someone else had answered it, which unfortunately they hadn't. So I asked the question. I think back then the board wasn't as active as it is now, but it's grown a lot, significantly over the months, and it's really great to see more and more people asking questions. And in fact, I try not to answer everything to leave some room for new people. So I'll try and do that more. So, but I know I have been very, very
I
active.
do not know how I feel about that. It's like,
I know.
from on the one hand, it's kind of good, but on the other
Yeah,
hand, like,
yeah, I won't leave it too long if I don't see an
okay,
answer.
yeah,
But
we would be missing out on a lot of great answers from you, you know.
yeah, I try to. I think I did start off with asking questions, but like I say, it's in my nature to try and help. So I scrolled back through the list of questions and answered those that I can. And of course, as we all learn the product, we can answer more questions.
Hmm. So, do you use any additional resources to self-educate? Uh, like, do you take courses, online courses, for example? Do you read books on testing? I don't know.
Uh, I do. Yeah, yes and no. I don't read books. I used to, but they're very heavy going, and I think learning's changed. Books probably suit some people, but I think these days it's with the internet. It's we like small bite-sized pieces of learning,
Hmm.
micro learning, and we're very specific in what we want to learn. So I I, um, I tend to read small bits of documentation, experiment myself, and see what the results are.
Hmm.
But I have used some training courses on the internet, so some video stream courses. So for the current role I'm doing, which is not about testing,
Hmm.
I've done that. It's really helpful.
Besides the obvious pieces of advice that you already gave throughout this interview, anything else that you would advise to those who only start in the testing field? Like, how should they approach this? Because it's like to change fields or just to start in a new field. It's a big process, and
Cool.
so how do you become a successful QA person?
Difficult question. But I think how you become successful in anything, whether it's QA or just in life, it's how you manage yourself. It's just your own personal drive. So I would say it's about, I guess, knowledge, thirst for knowledge, just to learn as much as you can. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. So if you're on the community board, there's no stupid questions. Um, and I mean, I always think that the way I approach things is like, how does it work? Why does it do it? Why does it do that? And once you understand those two things, then you can look at improving them. It's like, how can I improve it?
Hmm.
So yeah, I wish you
Yeah.
good luck. Whoever, if you're starting on the change journey, good luck.
I'd like to emphasize the thing that you said about there's no stupid questions. Like, that's completely so, because I know that a lot of people are just lurking there, on the forums, and they're kind of afraid to look stupid, and that's not the case. Like, not with the SmartBear community anyway, because from what I see, we're a really friendly community, and nobody's getting bullied for not knowing something. Everyone is trying
Mm,
to help one another. So
definitely.
great. And my last non-question, any message for the Smart Bear community and maybe the Zephyr community in particular?
Well, I guess just thank you. Thank you for asking your questions. Please keep them coming. Um, I think it's a good way for all of us to learn. Um, and I would say also, please join in. Please drop us a note, ask away. We'll and myself and everyone else in the community will try and help.
That's a beautiful, beautiful message. Thank you. And I would like to add that yeah, it's true that you said that the community really has grown, over the
Mm.
past, I think, like half a year. And we will try to do our best to keep it this way because we want to really grow it. And everyone who's watching this, you're really welcome to participate. And because it can really become such a great place. It is already, but we can even improve it to be a better, even better place for all Zephyr Scale users. Okay, and that's about to be it. Thank you so much for this interview, Andrew. I know you were like Andy on the forum, so I'm gonna call you that from now on. So thank you so much, Andy, for this interview. It was quite interesting to know you because it's a really peculiar case that you have like 30 years of doing something else and then come into this QA field and just winning. Yeah, so we will be really happy to see more of you on the forums. And thank you so much again. See you.
Thank you, Sonia.
Bye.